What's up, fellas? So I had a loyal patron supporter, one of my best guys who sent me questions. He wanted to know, will a woman lower her minimal attraction level if she have physical shortcomings? Basically, to sum it up, will a woman lower her standards if she have physical shortcomings? And the answer is, guys, yes. But the biggest point y'all need to understand is it only matters what she views herself as. Okay? Yes, a woman will lower her minimal attraction standards, but it just matters how she views herself. Okay? You will have fat bitches who view themselves as a dime. Now, let me talk about that for a second. And it ain't gotta be just fat girls, right? It could be any type of girl, right? That you see that you think is a 6 or something like that, or a 7. Why would a girl who looks like that think she's a dime? Well, guys, the same reason I thought I was still a 10 when I was fat, right? When I was overweight. Because what happens is, if not everybody, some people, you know, they live in reality. They accept, hey man, I'm a fat shit right now. But some people, they still see themselves as that handsome person that they was, or that pretty girl that they was before they put on the weight. So when they look in the mirror, they have blinders on and they don't see the person that's in front of the mirror now. You have a lot of people that's like that are delusional, that maybe they was the shit in high school. Maybe they was 175 pounds ripped to shreds in high school. Maybe they was the big man on campus in high school. And here we is, now they 27 years old, and they still got that swagger and that confidence that they had, that they was when they was in high school, because that's who they still see. All right. I won't say that that's a bad thing, to be quite honest with you. I advocate for all you guys to maintain your confidence, okay? So that's me looking back, that's why I like this video. He asked me this because it made me think of myself to when I was over 300 pounds. I think my biggest, I might have been pushing 350, right? Might have been. I don't know what my biggest, right? Might have been. But when I looked in the mirror, I still saw 220 pounds, 210 pounds. That's what I still saw. I never saw it like, oh, I'm fat. The only time I would really see myself as fat is when I looked at a picture and I'm like, holy shit. And then I would just be delusional in my head and say, well, that's a bad angle. That wasn't a good angle. So that's why you would see some fat girls, they don't know that, bitch, you done put on 100 pounds since high school. You delusional. That ain't you no more. That ain't you. Didn't you notice you done went up 3, 4, 5, 6 dress sizes? Yeah, that ain't you no more, sweetie. But they don't see it like that. They still see that same person. So that's why you'll see these women who view themselves as who should, or theoretically you might view as a 6, view themselves as a dime. And some of you guys have that issue right now. You still see yourself as a dime. Even though you might be working a minimum wage job, you don't got that status you had in high school. You might have had that status in high school as a football player. You still see that same person. You still think, hey, I'm that guy that was the big man on campus. You still think you that. All right. And that's why you still have that confidence, even though most people think you're fucking delusional. And now let's take it to the other end. The girl that's a dime, that you view as a dime, right? Why would she see herself as average? Where this comes from, guys, usually comes from whenever a woman gets into a long-term relationship, all right, and she's dealing with a guy that kind of like don't validate her. It could be intentional or unintentional. It could be that the guy, let's assume that the guy's not purposely trying to lower her self-esteem, okay? Let's just say, y'all guys know what the fuck I mean. Y'all guys think Jay-Z is fucking Beyonce the same way he was 20 years ago? They've been together 20 fucking years, guys. Do y'all think he's fucking her like he was 20 years ago? So I guarantee you that's probably had an impact on her sex, how she feels about herself. Okay, I guarantee you. All right, because regardless of what other people say, oh, you the shit, oh, you the shit, oh, girl, I wish you so fine. the person she wants to want her like that is not saying it. Now, this won't affect every woman. You know, some women, the other attention from other guys, the other validation from other guys will give them that self-esteem boost. But for some women, it can really tear down their self-esteem that the dude that they're wanting is turning his back to them at night, that he doesn't touch them no more. Okay, guys? So this is usually when you'll see a dime. Also, when y'all guys will see a dime with low self-esteem like this, or a girl you perceive as a dime, sometimes people change over the years. And I think y'all guys know what I'm talking about. Y'all guys ever had that girl that when she was in school, like the 7th, 8th grade, you thought like, she all right. Then the bitch got grown and you like, holy shit, man, this bitch bad. The issue why she got low self-esteem is she still sees herself as that girl that was in high school or in junior high school. Do y'all guys understand that? She don't see the new girl. When she looks in the mirror, she still sees the big old glasses, the curly ponytails. She don't see this hot supermodel right now. Because y'all guys know some people look better when they age. Some people look worse when they age. Some people blossom. They might not have been shit in school. And then you see them when they 22, 23 after they done filled out. You like, holy shit. Any of y'all guys now, I ain't trying to get none of y'all guys to judge men, but even me and one of my chicks was sitting here watching a movie the other night, watching a movie another night. And I actually, it was Boys in the Hood. And we was, cause you know, quarantine, man, you know it's getting bad. We're watching Boys in the Hood around this motherfucker. But anyway, watching Boys in the Hood, and I couldn't help but look at Morris Chestnut on that motherfucking movie. Now, in the movie was made like in 1991, 1992. And I would say even me as a man, and she agreed, that here we is almost 30 years later, and I think Morris Chestnut looks better now than he did on Boys in the Hood. Any of y'all guys go look at Boys in the Hood, look at Morris Chestnut on Boys in the Hood. He looked like a goddamn fool. I'm just being honest. He looked like a goddamn fool. Nothing about Morris Chestnut on Boys in the Hood screamed sex appeal to me. Here we is 30 years later. And guys, y'all guys got to keep in mind, this is not a guy that lost weight or nothing like that. He's the same fucking size. It's not nothing to do with weight loss. Just some people, as they age, they facial features actually get better or something like that. Okay, guys? So what happens is when some of these guys, besides having the dudes that lower their self-esteem in a relationship, sometimes they facial features in their body will fill out and they'll look better as they age or got older, but they still see that same fucking person. Okay, so that's why you'll see a dime sometimes with a guy that you'll be like, well, why she with him? He caught her at the right time. And this is why I tell you guys, it's all about catching a woman at the right time. All about. You could be a guy that's a little overweight, work at McDonald's, but if you catch that dime right, because understand that, let's say she done had this long-term relationship, right? And she got this prototype of dude she like. All right, 6'5", 210 pounds, solid muscle, make 6 figures a year, right? And she done had a couple of those in a row and they ain't worked out. Well, now she'll be open to trying something different because she'll think in her head, hey, maybe I should try something different. That's why it's always the best time to catch a woman, a dime, is right after a fucking long-term relationship. Okay? Usually the guy, he stopped, validating her. He stopped making her feel beautiful. So her ego is down a little bit. She don't feel so high and mighty. How you gonna feel high and mighty when this guy I've been in a long-term relationship. And I'm telling you right now, the last 2 or 3 years of that relationship, I can count on one hand how many times we fucked. Get tired of hitting the same old pussy. That's why I told you guys I'll never get in a long-term relationship no more. It really had, like I told you guys, the reason I don't do long-term relationship has nothing to do with, the bitch gonna break my heart and hypergamy and she gonna leave me for the next dude. That has nothing. I told you guys, I done said this in multiple videos. The reason why I don't want to do long-term relationship because I know I'm gonna get tired of hitting that same old goddamn pussy. That's why I'm gonna don't want to do no relationships no more. Well, the red pill shit has something to do with it too. But you could be purple pill. But that's why. That's why the reason why I don't want to become purple pill is I don't care about worried about a bitch doing this, bitch doing that. Fuck all that. I don't want to do it. I don't want to hit the same old goddamn pussy. I'm just telling you that right now. That's why I do long-term dating rotations, and then they tend to run their course because don't then last forever. Even if you do everything right, they just gonna tend to run their course if you don't make a commitment. But even if you do, it's just things run their fucking course, right? And if y'all guys wondering why relationships run their course, we change. I'm not the same guy I was 5 years ago. So imagine if I was in a relationship. I'm not the same guy I was 5 years ago. The way I think mentally, spiritually, everything about me has changed. Hell, you go back and you look at my first videos to now, look how much I done changed. People change. So the person you is now is not going to be the person that you is usually 3 or 4 years from now. So that's why relationships run their course, because people fucking change. Your interests change. The things you love to do change. You might want to be a lawyer today. 2 years from now, you want to be a fucking police officer. Why? I don't know. You just want to shoot motherfuckers. I don't know. People just fucking change. So yes, guys, a woman will lower her minimum attraction standards depending on how she views herself. Okay, you're gonna have some bitches that you see as a 7, but she thinks she a 10, and she ain't lowering shit. She'll rather be a fuck buddy to a guy she views as an alpha male or a 10 than to get with a guy that's really on her fucking level. Because she still thinks she's a fucking 10, even though that fat bitch done gained 200 pounds since fucking high school. Okay, guys? And you will have some women that are absolutely gorgeous, but they view themselves as a 7 because maybe they ain't realized how much they've changed. See, we all get our, regardless of what everybody say, this, that, and the other, right? We all get our self-esteem from how the opposite sex views us, all right? If you straight, right? We all, if you somebody that have low confidence, it don't come from nothing. If you got low confidence with women, right? Because I don't think it's no universal confident person. Like I'm confident in some shit I'm not confident in. All right, it comes from your experiences with women. That's why you have no confidence. Okay, and that's why I tell you to do the self-improvement and stop bitching to get better experiences, because that outward validation is what's gonna give you it is, guys. It is. If you're a guy and you see all the black pill guys, the reason why they had that low stinking self-esteem and shit is because that's been their experience with women. Hell, you get rejected 1,000 times, you'll goddamn start to stink to a desperation and loneliness and shit. You'll be on YouTube. You might not be that stupid to make black pill videos on YouTube. That shit, I don't see how the hell that's gonna fucking help you, right? All right, but the outward validation we get from others is what's give us our self-esteem. That's why I viewed myself as a 10 when I was over 300 pounds, because in my head, I'm still getting the same validation from the girls that I used to be getting in school and when I was younger and I was slimmer. That's what I see. Okay? And I did have to admit, man, I still was fucking holding out through. Let's be honest, guys. I still was banging a fair amount of holes when I was over 300 pounds. I don't want to kid you guys, but I did have to admit that it was women that I felt like I could have gotten back in the day that I couldn't get then. So that's when I had to come to realization, man, your fat ass, you need to lose some weight, because that's a woman that you would have goddamn fucked on the first date 5 years ago. All right, so I had to come to the realization of that I did notice it was harder, but nonetheless, I still saw myself as a 10. Okay, guys? So that's the issue with that, guys. Y'all guys must understand that outward validation is where we get our self-esteem. When you see somebody view themselves as a 10, it comes from somewhere. If you confident at something, it comes from somewhere. You're good at something. It don't just come from the thin air. So you had to have some type of experience with something to get that confidence. Okay, guys? So when you see a 10 that views herself as a 7, that's because that is when you see a 10 that views herself as a 7, that's because the guy she was with made her feel like a 7, or she still sees the attention that she used to get back in the day, and she really don't accept the attention that she's getting now. She still thinks guys view her as they did back in the day. Okay, guys? But in that situation, yes, a woman will lower her minimum attraction standards. All right, good question, man. It's and the point of me making these things, guys, is I pretty much done said all the serious talking points. This right here is just breaking down psychology. All right, and so that's why I appreciate this question, because it's breaking down psychology. All the shit tests and all the real talking points that you need for women, I already made them. But the reason I like these videos, because it goes to psychology much deeper. And this is what I call advanced game. I don't call advanced game strategies to, you know, bullshit, all that bullshit. What I call advanced game is when you're breaking down psychology. All right.